right, so within the show, we open up our chat room so that you can email in, Pat, whatever question you want. So Mary did just that, and she says, my 18-year-old daughter is in a relationship with a 46-year-old man. Should we accept this relationship? My husband and I do not. Does this make us bad parents? Can I answer this one?
I don't know. Can you?
I'm going to answer this one. A 46-year-old man does not need to be with any 18-year-old daughter, so you don't have to worry about being bad parents. I would snatch her and say, do not pick him, do not call him, do not go out with him. And then I'd have a conversation with him and say, what kind of man are you? You're old enough to be her daddy. You're old enough to be her granddaddy. You're not bad parents. Okay, go.
Maybe he likes young girls.
Maybe he likes young girls. He should be in jail. Even though 18 is legal, 46 and 18,
46
that's
isn't
ridiculous,
old, and
Pat.
18 isn't young. Maybe they love each other.
That's crazy.
Well,
you know it's crazy, Pat.
Not necessarily. 46 isn't that old.
Okay, let's switch it. If it was a 46-year-old woman who wanted to date an 18-year-old man, what would you say?
I'd say she's being very foolish. There was a...
You said it. You said she'd be very foolish.
I didn't say simple. I said foolish. You know.
Then what's the difference between...
There are many older men that they want a trophy wife, and they got some young babe that they marry.
Okay, listen. What can a 46-year-old man and an 18-year-old girl have in common? Nothing. They don't have conversation. They don't have culture. They're not in the same generation.
Maybe she's smart. Maybe he's dumb. Who knows? Maybe they can come together. I don't know. Parent, the question is, would you discourage it? Yes, you should discourage it. On the other hand, it's not sinful, it's not evil, and it happens all the time in cultures all around the world. Older men marry younger women. It just happens. I'm sorry. Because they can still have babies.
Here's another question from one of our viewers.
Do you remember the singer Bing Crosby?
Yeah, Bing Crosby, yeah.
Well, Bing Crosby had a couple of families, and his last family was with a young girl that he married. He was in his 60s or 70s.
Well, just because people do it doesn't make it right.
Well, it's nothing wrong with it. It just may not be wise. All right, what's another?
Here's another question from one of our viewers. I've been through 3 marriages that have ended in divorce. Am I allowed to get married again? Do you want to get married again after 3 marriages?
I think you'd better chill out, dear. I mean, somehow you're not good at making choices, and you're screwing things up. I think you need time out. And
maybe she should call that 46-year-old man. He should be available.
No, leave the 46 years. He's doing fine. Just chill out on that one. I just think, are you allowed? I'm not sure you are, because I don't know the circumstances of your previous marriages. I mean, did you have a ground for marriage? With your husband's dead? You know, are you divorced, and if so, why? But if you just hopping in and out of the sack with somebody and then you get married, not cool. So I think you need counseling, you need help. You've got a serious problem, and it's just going to compound the more you do it. Okay.
We have quick time for the last question. Earlier, we had a guest talking about things being taught in our schools. One viewer says, my son has to watch the Harry Potter series for a class in school and take a quiz about it. Ooh, I don't like that. What should I do? That's not right.
Well, Harry Potter's about demons. It's about the occult and witches and all that sort of thing. It, again, inoculates people into witchcraft. But the minute you object to that, you're going to be labeled as some kind of religious fanatic. I think you might want to talk to the principal and say, look, this kind of teaching is against my religious principles, and I'd like my daughter to opt out of that particular quiz. I think you could do that. All right?
Yeah. I'd go to the teacher and say, hey, can we switch it to 10 Commandments? Here's a question from Phyllis. My sister told me that our spirit is in heaven with God before we are born. She says, once we're born, God sends our spirits to our bodies. Is it true?
Well, I don't think that's exactly the way it works. I think our spirit comes to being at the moment of conception. But God says, before I formed you in the womb, I knew you. See, before I formed you in the womb, I knew you. But forming in the womb was what brings you into being, but I knew you in advance. God knows us from all eternity, and he has a plan for us. But our lives begin at conception. At least that's what I think is the traditional teaching. Well, folks, that's all the time we have for today's show.